The universe doesn't let go of its past. Even now, if you point a sensitive enough receiver to the sky, you'll hear it, a faint whisper left behind by the Big Bang. It's called the cosmic microwave background, and it's still out there, coating the entire sky in a low, persistent hum, an echo of trauma frozen into the fabric of space itself. Your body does something eerily similar. Many people across the United States, Canada, and the UK, especially those in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, walk around each day with a kind of biological background noise. It doesn't scream, it doesn't flare, a silent, low-grade inflammation that lingers in the bloodstream long after the original stress, injury, or illness has passed. Not enough to be called disease, not enough to land you in a hospital, but just enough to slowly warp your physiology, to change how your cells age, to leave you feeling just a little off, a little older than you should. This is the body's version of background radiation. And just like the universe, we're still feeling the shock waves of our earliest damage. It can start in childhood, stressful home environments, trauma, neglect, or chronic uncertainty, or it can come later as a major illness, a long infection, a betrayal, or simply years of running too hard without rest. Life moves on, but underneath, something doesn't reset. The immune system, designed to flare up and then quiet down, never fully returns to baseline. It keeps humming like a fan that should have turned off hours ago. Most people don't even know it's happening. They feel tired, their joints are stiff, their memory slips, they put on weight in places that used to stay lean, their skin dulls, motivation fades, doctors run labs and find nothing serious, maybe a little high blood sugar, maybe borderline cholesterol, maybe mild hypertension, nothing urgent, but also nothing right. That's inflammation, not the kind that burns and swells, but the kind that erodes slowly, a quiet war inside the tissue. We call it inflammaging now, the slow, systemic damage caused by unresolved immune activity, and the consequences are brutal. This kind of inflammation contributes to nearly every chronic disease common in aging populations: cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, insulin resistance, osteoporosis, even cancer. It wears down the endothelium in blood vessels, it disrupts hormonal signaling, rewires the gut, and clouds neurotransmitter balance in the brain. Over years or decades, it builds a new biological identity centered not on growth or balance, but on slow, silent survival. And here's where it gets even more unnerving. In 2023, a paper published in Nature Reviews Immunology confirmed something trauma researchers and functional doctors have suspected for years. Early life stress can imprint a permanent pro-inflammatory signature into the immune system. People who experienced severe adversity in childhood were more likely to have elevated inflammatory markers in midlife and beyond. Their immune cells were more reactive, their baseline states more agitated. It's as if the immune system encoded the stress as a permanent condition, continuing to react long after the original danger was gone. This isn't about psychology, it's about measurable blood chemistry, higher levels of interleukin-6, elevated C-reactive protein, increased expression of immune genes associated with threat detection and tissue breakdown, and, what's worse, the body adapts to this as if it's normal. The inflammatory state becomes the default operating system. No alarms go off, but everything is running hot. Quietly, the background hum of inflammation becomes the baseline noise of your body. Think of it like this. The Big Bang happened once, but its radiation never left. It stretched out with time, cooled, and settled into the structure of the cosmos. Now it sits everywhere, all the time, shaping how matter moves and how light behaves. It's not an active explosion anymore. It's an echo that still has power. That's what chronic inflammation is in the human body. Not the explosion, but the echo, a kind of invisible scaffolding that everything else now has to operate within. Your metabolism, your sleep, your appetite, your cognition, all distorted by the pressure of this low-frequency noise you never asked for. And unless it's interrupted, it keeps going. There's a reason some people age 20 years in 5, while others hold steady. It's not just genetics. It's the inflammatory load their bodies are carrying. And for many, that load was never chosen. It was inherited, or absorbed, or endured during a season of life when there was no room to repair. So what can you do? How do you lower the signal? How do you let your biology evolve past the trauma instead of circling inside it? First, recognize that this isn't about controlling inflammation with drugs or numbing it with supplements. It's about recalibrating the nervous system's relationship to safety, because the immune system doesn't act alone. It follows cues from the brain. If your brain still believes you're under threat, it will instruct the immune system to stay vigilant. That's why resolving inflammation requires a kind of biological disarmament, a retreat from red alert. And that happens through rhythm and consistency, through the reintroduction of trust at the cellular level. Sleep must become sacred, deep, predictable, and aligned with natural light. Inflammation thrives when circadian rhythm is broken. The immune system takes cues from melatonin, cortisol, and core body temperature. Without regularity, those cues scramble. The gut must be restored. Inflammatory signaling often begins in the intestine, where the wrong foods, medications, or stress can damage the lining and allow microbial fragments to enter the bloodstream. This lights up the immune system day after day. The fix is simple: whole foods, fiber, fermented vegetables, and the removal of triggers that you already know don't belong. Movement must be steady, not punishing. Aggressive workouts under inflammatory load only reinforce the stress pattern. What the body needs first is gentle repetition, long walks, and mobility work. Practices that tell the immune system, this is not a battlefield. We're rebuilding, not forcing. Maybe most importantly, the echo must be acknowledged physiologically. Your body isn't irrational. It's not malfunctioning. It's responding to an imprint. The only way that imprint starts to fade is when the environment finally contradicts it. That might mean saying no to the 1,000 small obligations that keep your system in overdrive. It might mean removing yourself from people or patterns that continually signal threat. It might mean finally addressing the past, not to fix it, but to stop obeying it. If you do that, something changes. Slowly, but unmistakably, the noise starts to drop. Clarity returns. This isn't magic, it's physics. When you remove energy from a field, the vibration changes. When you remove the threat from a system, the inflammation recedes. We can't erase the background radiation of the universe, but we are not galaxies. We're not locked into cosmic inertia. We are organisms capable of shifting course when the right signals reach the right layers. There's a version of you that's not echoing with old damage, that's not burning through itself just to stay alert. That version is already trying to come through. You just have to quiet the noise around it and then listen to the body, to the space where healing isn't an effort, but the natural result of getting out of your own way. Let us know if you found this video interesting below in the comments. Thank you for watching.